Rinsing my mouth, I cleanse my heart. The universe is fragrant with flowers. When the three actions are constantly pure, I walk hand in hand with the Buddha. Duc chưa? It's okay, Shuin? No, I think it's loud enough, you know. If you make it any louder, you hear the echo. Yeah, it was better before. Now it's not good. Rinsing my mouth, I cleanse my heart. The universe is fragrant with, it's a little bit loud. The universe is fragrant with flowers. When the three actions are constantly pure, I walk hand in hand with the Buddha. Rinsing my mouth, I cleanse my heart. The universe is fragrant with flowers. Now it's very good, and don't change it, it's fine. Most respected Thai, dear Sangha, good morning. Today is the 27th of October. It goes so fast, I think we're still in September. The 27th of October in the year 2020, and we're in the Lower Hamlet in the Assembly of Stars Meditation Hall in our 3-month winter retreat, which we have already had nearly half already. Yeah? Oh, very quick. Let us enjoy 3 sounds of the bell. So dear Sangha, this is our gatha for this week, and it is the practice of Drishta Dharma Sukha Viharin, which means hiện pháp lạc trú, dwelling happily in the present moment. So we have to recognize that these gathas are composed by Thai, and Thai is very capable of practicing dwelling happily in the present moment, whatever Thai is doing. So when Thai composed this gatha, it came from his experience of dwelling happily in the present moment while he was rinsing his mouth. And we can do that as well, if we want to. So don't think that it means that the universe is always fragrant with flowers, that your actions are always pure. They may not be, but at this very moment when you are rinsing your mouth, you manage to bring your body, speech and mind together in purity, and you manage to feel your heart is clean. And so you can enjoy being with the Buddha. And the Buddha here mean the Buddha in your own heart. Come from your own heart. So please make it suitable for your own practice, in your own language. And if you want to change some of the words, of course you can do so to make it easier for you to practice. I remember Thai Papu said that somebody asked him if he felt nervous before he gave a Dharma talk, and he said yes, it's like when you're going to meet your girlfriend, no, your beloved, you feel nervous. So, another thing, if you're going to meet your loved one, you put on your clothes, you put on your best clothes. You make sure that you look good for your loved one. I think that's so. And so when we give a Dharma talk, we also try and put on our best clothes. And some of us, we have this tipping jacket, huh? Yeah. And we have when we practice sitting meditation, we don't wear the ao nhuk bin, huh? Do we? In Thailand they do sometimes, the younger sisters. But I think here we just wear the ao dang, is correct? They do, are they? Oh, thank you for letting me know. Huh? So it depends on your hamlet whether you can wear the ao nhuk bin when you go to the when you go to the sitting meditation. I always learned that I go to the sitting meditation with my ao dang, and so I always think that when I give a Dharma talk, I give a Dharma talk with my ao dang. Do you think I need to move backward a bit? Am I too close to them? The speakers are reflecting each other. Yeah. So please, before you come up in front of the Sangha to do a panel or a question and answer or a Dharma talk, either look at yourself in the mirror or ask your Dharma sister to look at you. Are you looking neat and tidy? Because giving a Dharma talk is not the same as or giving a question and answer is not the same as rinsing my mouth, my heart is clean, the universe fragrant with flowers. The three actions continue to be pure. I enjoy my time with the Buddha. You can sing if you like. Huh? So Dharma talks. So then we heard from Thai Papu that Thai would always make sure Thai looked smart before he came to give a Dharma talk. Yeah. So please, we can do the same. We may think that, my Dharma talk or my panel or my question and answer is not anything very special. I'm a very young practitioner. I don't have much to offer, so I don't need to worry too much about what I look like. But once the Sangha has asked us to come up and present ourselves, it's not really a performance. It's just being there for your beloved Sangha. And if I look down now, I don't mind what you wear when you come to listen to a class. You can wear your ao nhuk bin, you can wear your coat, you can wear your jacket, whatever you like, you can wear, it's fine. I'm just talking about for the person who's sitting up here. We have all kinds of jackets. Some of them are new, some of them are homemade, some of them we bought. They all look different from each other. Some of them we may have even got out of the rejects, what do you call, out of the store, which is very good. But does it make, do you look smart enough with that jacket? That is something you need to ask. So, as I said last time, now I think our Dharma talks are higher quality than they were just after Thai was not well. I hope that my talk also is get better as time goes along. But I think that as Dharma teachers, we really need feedback. So it's really precious to have feedback. So that is up to the people who listen to the Dharma talk. Dear sister, you can write a note or you can come and see the person. Dear sister, I really enjoyed such and such in your talk. And then you can say, but I have a question about this. Or I wonder why you said that. And then the person who gave the talk can see that what they said was not clear, and they can look into it again. So that would be very precious for our Dharma talks to continue to make progress, because we cannot give Dharma talk like Thai. Well, most of us can't. Occasionally one or two of us might get close to Thai, but so when Thai taught, Thai always said that Thai prefers that the audience falls asleep rather than makes notes. Because when you take notes, you are up in your head. You think intellectually. In a class, it's fine to take notes, but in a Dharma talk, the person talking wants to send a message to the seeds in your store consciousness, and not so much give you knowledge for your brain or your mind consciousness. So Thai always said, if you fall asleep, your store consciousness is still working, so you receive some of Thai's message. But if you take notes, your intellect is working, and it may stop the message going into your store consciousness. So now we're lucky, we can always listen to a recording afterwards if we want to check on something. And Thai said, occasionally you can take a little note, just a couple of words, to remind you of something that you want to look into after the talk. But normally don't take notes. So that's what I wanted to say about Dharma talks. And some sister asked me, please will I talk about practice songs, the practice of singing in Plum Village. So this is a topic I really enjoy. Music to me is very important, and I'm so happy that we can sing and we can have music in our Sangha. I think it's a huge benefit, and it's also a Dharma door. And even when I first came to Plum Village, Thai wanted all his students who were in Plum Village to be able to write songs. So Thai would say, write a song on this, or write a song on that. Write a song about the rain. Write a song about being a well. Many topics Thai would give us, so we had a chance to write songs about our practice. And then we would sing our song to Thai, and Thai would sometimes give us some feedback and say change a word here and there to make the practice stronger, and so we would change a word here and there. I think I wrote a song about just one pine, lovely pine, all alone, you smile through the mist. This was about a pine tree out there in where people have built their houses now on the other side of the road. There used to be a green field with a pine tree in the middle, and it was all on its own. And I thought, oh, how wonderful, the pine tree, it can be all on its own and be happy and have everything. And then Thai made a comment on that song, and he said something like, you need the Sangha. Yeah, I can't remember what Thai said. So after that, I didn't sing that song very much anymore. And then this other, every time I wrote a song, Thai would give some feedback, and often he would say, oh, the best line in that song is, and then he would tell me what the best line is. And then I would know that that line is the line I need to practice. So he said, life is not a matter of attaining something that lies far away. Life is not always complaining that happiness lies somewhere else. And then Thai said the best line is not always complaining that happiness lies somewhere else. So I know I have to practice that. And I thought in that poem there's many other good lines, but all about the bodhicitta and the music in the river of my mind. I thought they were the best lines, but I say no. And then there's another song I wrote, is about I had a dream, I felt I was in the Pure Land, and so I wrote this song, I say, before the dawn touches our land, we walk in the gentle rain. The fever of all our wrong thinking has left us completely free. The deep green ocean touches our land. We breathe in its salty fragrance. Our hearts interpenetrate each other. We walk with the no problem feet. Anyway, I thought the best line in that song is we walk with the no problem feet. I was quite happy. I was quite pleased with myself about that line. But I say the best line in that song is our hearts interpenetrate each other. So I knew that that is my practice, living in the Sangha, to see how we our thinking is. Yeah, and so that has been my practice these past few days. Sometimes I feel I go up in the practice, and sometimes I feel I go down. And I often think that our hearts interpenetrate each other. And when I go up, I don't go up on my own, and when I don't go down, I don't go down on my own. So it's always a good lesson for me, because I know I can do better. When I go down, In science now they talk about bifurcation points. It's really when you talk about evolution and you talk about development, there are certain, it's like going along, and there are certain points where you bifurcate, you go off in a new direction. And when I feel things are going well, I often keep going in that direction, which I suppose is okay. But when things don't go well, I have to go in a new direction. And it's very helpful, when things don't go well. Anyway, that is a digression. I'm sorry. We should be talking about songs. So there are two parts to a song. There's the part is the music, and there is the part that is the words. So both parts are necessary, and we need to be aware of both parts. Everyone who came to Plum Village in the past, when we were a small sangha, had to write a song. You couldn't escape. And you notice that some people's songs, the words were wonderful, but the music might be not so good. Maybe that's my case. And other people's song, the music is wonderful, but the words are maybe not so good. So we all have to learn. And there was always the tea meditation. We used to have tea meditation every Sunday until people got tired of it and then ask, can we not have tea meditation? So in the tea meditation, there's the second part when people can sing. And that was very important for Thai. Singing was always important for Thai. And I think if you read some of Thai's books, like Neove Kui, Fragrant Palm Leaves, you will see that when they were in the fragrant palm leaves, they would always sing. It was always important to sing. And Thai had us sing after the evening meal. Every day we would sing. And we would sing the songs we had written. We would sing Thai's poetry, which had been put to music. And Thai's poems put to music sometimes by Thai and sometimes by other musicians. And we would sing the songs of Pham Nhuy, Pham Nhuy. These are songs that are written during the war in Vietnam. And we would also sing the songs of Sister Queen Yim's uncle, like Em nghe đi không hơi em. Yeah. They were traditional Vietnamese songs. And so it wasn't just a matter of singing Dharma songs of our practice, but we also sang songs related to our culture. And whenever we had a tea meditation, Thai would ask everyone to sing a song from their country. And obviously if you come from the West, you don't have Dharma songs in your country. So we had to sing the non-Dharma songs. And I remember one time in tea meditation, a French person, they sang Chante, rossignol, chante, toi qui as le cœur si gai. Moi je n'ai qu'à pleurer. Yeah. Il n'y a qui si longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai. Yeah, and Thai was quite happy with hearing that song. It's a little bit of a kind of a love song. And then one time in English, I sang the song. Down by the valley gardens, my love invited me. She passed the valley garden on little snow-white feet. She bade me life easy as the grass grows on the weir. But I was young and foolish, and now I'm full of care. So we would sing songs and then in Vietnamese, we have to have Vietnamese as well. Okay. Màu xanh hay là màu má em? We also is a kind of love song, but Thai didn't object to these songs because they bring us. Now I don't think we would sing that in a tea meditation, but before we did. And Thai just said when we sang that màu xanh hay là màu mắt em, about is it the màu nắng, màu nắng, đúng rồi, màu nắng. Is it the sunshine or is it your eyes? Màu nắng hay là màu, yeah. And then autumn leaf has just fallen in your hair and things. So anyway, Thai say, oh, it's okay to sing that, but change the last line, because the last line says something like, and all sorrow has no end. And Thai said you have to change it to, and all sorrow has an end, to be in tune with the fourth noble truth. So at that time, our Sangha was mostly lay people, and in the tea meditation, mostly lay people. So I think it's a little bit of a change when we have the monastic Sangha about what kind of song we sing. But I remember one time that Thai taught us about singing in tea meditation, and Thai said we have to encourage people in tea meditation to sing a song that represents their culture, but represents something of what they consider to be most beautiful in their culture. So it didn't have to be a practice song, but it had to represent something they felt spiritual or beautiful. So sometimes we had to remind people like that when singing a song. So I hope that people continue to make songs, and we have many wonderful songs that have been made up by monks and nuns and laymen and lay women, and we sing them, and they are very nourishing, and they help our whole Sangha. So we need to continue that tradition of making songs and singing songs. But in the past we have Thai who would give us feedback about our songs. So now we also need the Sangha to give us feedback about our songs. So there was one song is, oh, I am free because I can be me. And Thai said that, no, you're free because you can't be. I mean, when you're not me, you're more free than when you're me. So there were songs we changed a little bit. And similarly, when we use the songs from our own culture, we can change the words to make them more in accord with the practice. And many of the Vietnamese practice songs that we sing, like Qua Cơn Mê and those songs we change the words because they are very beautiful music, and some of the words are okay, but we change a lot of the words. Thai changed many of the words. in the time of Confucius, Confucius believed that music had a very important effect on our mind. And whenever we hear some music, it changes our mind and sends our mind in a certain direction. So that in the public places, they used to have music for people to hear. And that music, it had to be of the kind which would direct people's mind into a virtuous direction. So music, it has an effect on our mind. And I don't know whether it's true or not, but I don't quite know. But for instance, the people who do experiments with water, they play different kinds of music with a bowl of water there. And so they play Mozart or Bach or some kind of classical music. And then they take the water, put the molecules of the water under the microscope. And they say, oh, this water that's listened to the music, the molecules make a beautiful image, a beautiful shape. And then they put the water with rock music, and then they look at the molecules, and they say, oh, the molecules are all haphazard, and it's not a beautiful shape. So our ideas about beauty, they are our human ideas about beauty. And some people really like rock music. I don't know if the water likes it or not, but some people do. And then with the cows, cowmen in England, they used to play Mozart and Bach for the cows to listen to while they were milking the cows. They say, oh, the cows, they give more milk when they listen to this music. And then somebody tried to play the rock music and the cow didn't give so much milk. But that is, I don't know if that's true. I heard that. So we have these ideas that music can make us calm, or it can make us excited. It can make us sad, or it can make us peaceful, and we all experience that. So that is another thing that we can take into account. And then we have the time when we sing, like there's the tea meditation and the being. And then on the other hand, there's before we do walking meditation and before we have a dharma talk, we can also have singing. So I think these two things we may say is a little bit different. When we have a being, we will sing the kind of songs and have the kind of music that maybe we don't have before we practice walking meditation or before we listen to a dharma talk. Thầy was very happy when Thầy Pháp Hữu did the rap, yeah. And many people enjoyed that so much and helped them to feel closer to the Dharma. But Thầy never asked Brother Pháp Hữu to come and do rap at the beginning of a Dharma talk. So I think that is a time when we need people to be calm and to be peaceful. So we will choose the songs that are calm and peaceful and which have the taste of calm and peace. Because I don't want to say that rap doesn't have the taste of the Dharma. The rap can really have the taste of the Dharma. And other songs that are not so maybe not so peaceful, might also have the taste of the Dharma. Before the Dharma talk, we used to sing the songs of An Việt, the nhạc kinh, the sutra music, like the sutra of the sutra of the 10 aspirations of Samantabhadra, and the sutra of or the chant on happiness. Chúng con được ngồi đây trong giây phút hiện tại với thấy bình rạch may mắn. Không nhớ. Nhưng mà we used to sing those a lot, those songs, before the Dharma talk. And they were really the sutra, but they'd been put to music. And they were chants put to music. And now in English we have from Thai Pháp Linh, we also have chants put to music, so we can sing. And before that, Thai Pháp Hiền also put chants to music, so that we can sing them. So that is another very important part of our music in our life. What is called sutra music, putting the sutras to music. And we can all we can continue to do that, and that can be helpful before the Dharma talk. And before the walking meditation, we have songbooks, and they have many songs in them. Many of the songbooks, and some of those songs nobody knows anymore because we haven't sung them for so long. Some of the songs I think shouldn't be there. Now that is my personal opinion, and we have to look into it as a sangha. And there's one song I don't like very much. This is my personal opinion, and the song is called "Lean on Me." Huh? And the reason I don't like it is because I think it's too sentimental, and it waters the seed of sentimentality in us, and take away a little bit of our independence. And we need to be lent on. Sometimes we need to lean on somebody, and somebody needs us to lean on them. So in the Sangha, it's not quite like that. We put our roots down in the Sangha, and we take refuge in the Sangha. Last time we were talking a little bit about the singing of practice songs before the online Dharma talk. And and then in our monastic culture, we can enjoy in the be-in and in the in the be-in we can enjoy dancing and moving around as we sing. In my mind, I have the image of a monk and a nun standing or sitting up straight, feet together, in order to in order to sing a dharma song. And when I see a monk or a nun singing dharma songs and jigging around like that, I feel it's not right. So this is part of my training and maybe part of my prejudice. But I feel that when we're wearing the monastic robe, we're standing in front, we should stand still and put our whole heart into the words of the song in order to present something that looks calm. Anyway, that is my... When I wrote a song, it's time passes, but your heart lies outside of time. And I completely forgot about that song. And then it was in an old songbook, and one of the brothers found it. And he didn't know that I already put that song to music. So he put it to music. And then I listened to the music he put it to, and it's much more younger generation than my kind of music. The rhythm is a little bit syncopated, which means not so flat, not so even. And so he sang his version, and then I sang my version. 2 different generation versions. And I thought that his version is very good. I liked it also. So it's not so much whether the rhythm is syncopated or not. It's not so important. And the music is always changing, because the kind of music that composers compose nowadays is not the same as music that's composed 300 years ago. And the music composed 300 years ago is not the same as the music 600 years ago. So it's like we have to get used to a certain kind of music, and then it becomes easy for us to listen to. And it could take hundreds of years for us to become used to that kind of music. So now there's one other point, and that is about the place of music as a whole in our practice. When I first ordained, I missed listening to music, which I listened to a lot before I became ordained, and then when I ordained I didn't listen anymore, except to the songs we sang. And then one day Thai said that it's fine, Thai would lend me Thai's radio and I can listen to France musique, classical music on the French radio. So I listened to So I would listen to the radio from time to time. I continued to do that for many years, at least for the first 10 years that I was in Plum Village. And then when I went to the United States, I didn't have the music that I had in Plum Village, the classical music that I used to listen to. So I stopped listening to classical music. And when I was in Germany, the first 10 years I was in Plum Village, the second 10 years I was in United States, the third 10 years I was in Germany. So then I didn't listen anymore. And then one time when we were in Germany, Thai came with the delegation from Plum Village, and us and Sister Trangim was there, and Thai asked Sister Trangim play the violin, and she played the something from Bach, the sheep safely graze, and I started to cry, I cry a lot, and so I recognized that all those 20 years I didn't really listen to any music. And then I heard the music again, and it touched something very, very deep in me. And after that, whenever we have the musical performance in Shanha, I feel so happy about that. So we have a need, I think many of us, we have a need for listening to music. And I suppose the thing is that how to find the middle way, not to become dependent on music. Because there may be a time when you can't listen to music from outside. So if, in order to be able to feel peaceful, to feel relaxed, you have to have music, then you've become too dependent on it. And you need to find ways to be able to relax and find your music in your breathing rather than in the music coming from outside. When we were revising the fine manners, there's a sentence about not singing while you're working, or not singing while you're cooking, or something like that. And one person who was revising with me said, I'm glad about that, because when I'm in the cooking team and somebody is humming all the time, it disturbed my concentration. And I also remember when I've been working with people who sing, I also sometimes find my concentration is disturbed. Because when we sing, not other people, but when I sing, I know that my emotion is conveyed in my singing. So if I'm feeling a little bit agitated, the agitation will come out in my singing, and somebody else will have to receive it, who's listening to my singing. I like to sing, and I try to sing when I'm not going to disturb anybody. I must sing a lot every day. And then the one time when I was in Thailand, the gardening team decided to have music while you work. We used to have a program on the BBC called Music While You Work. So while you were doing the housework, you listened to the music. And in Thailand, they used to put the music in the garden, and so everybody could hear while they were gardening the music. And my study is by the garden, so I also could hear, and I was trying to translate. And with the music, I can't do anything. I can't translate, I can't write, I can't think even. I just have to listen to music. So it disturbed me very much when I hear music. So I have to go out into the garden and ask the sisters to turn down the volume of the music. And sometimes with cooking, sewing, people also listen to the music. cooking, also sometimes listen to the Dharma talk. And really we can only concentrate on one thing at a time. So if we're cooking, we want to put our whole heart into cutting the vegetable, washing the vegetable, and we don't need to have music. And gardening is the same. We want to put our whole heart into digging the earth or pulling up the weeds. We don't need to have music. So dear sisters, if you have any questions, please ask. Sister Hin came first, and then Sister Tui.
Thank you, dear Sukho. I have a question about the taking notes. And I wonder if there can be some openness on this point. So I understand when Thai is giving a live teaching, and we want to give our whole heart and lift up our heart to what Thai is saying. And that's part of like our personal transformation. But also we're students of the path and we're students of Thai. And I think many of us, we are concerned about our monastic education. And we know that the researchers and the neuroscientists tell us that we need to engage actively with our mind in order to really learn. And we know that note-taking helps be what they call an active learner. And I feel sometimes it's a pity that our sisters follow the rule of not taking notes, but then maybe after 5 or 6 years in the monastery, they cannot recall, what is the structure of a talk about the Four Noble Truths, or which season did Thai teach this or Thai teach that, or when did Thai develop his way of presenting something. And because we're only listening with the ears and sometimes with our eyes closed, we cannot actively learn and retain the content of the Dharma. And then we come ourselves to be young Dharma teachers, and we don't know where to start with our studies. We don't have notebooks we can turn to. So this is a personal concern of mine, because I was trained to take notes, and I see how it helps my learning, and then I feel so sorry for our sisters if they feel they can't take notes, and then how can they learn and develop their understanding of Thai's teachings? Yeah, I hope my question's clear. Yeah,
it's very clear, and I think everybody is clear. Huh? Yeah. So, dear Thai, dear Sangha, I suppose that sometimes during the Buddha's time, people became enlightened during the Dharma talk, like the Kachayana, for instance. So this kind of enlightenment, it comes from the store consciousness. My personal practice is different from yours, so I don't want to say mine is right and yours is wrong. But my personal practice is to listen allow the words to come in. And I've done this with Thai's talks without thinking, if you see what I mean. I've done this with Thai's talks, and I do it nowadays with Dharma teacher talks. And while I'm listening, I just allow everything to come in. And then at the end of the talk, I recognize, oh, I'm doing this differently, or I'm feeling differently. Yeah. It's like, I will give you an example, because it's after your talk about the owl. Huh? You remember, Shem? I don't know, I think online retreat. Okay, so I just let that talk go into me. I don't really think or take any notes or anything, either mentally or with paper. And then afterwards I feel, yes, I'm more compassionate now. Yes, I'm listening more to my sister. And this is in the few hours after the talk. With any luck, it continues. But to me, that is the most important thing about a talk. How I transform during the talk. And as for learning, I feel that I can always get the transcripts, or I can get I can go back afterwards. We have so much on the internet for me to be able, when I'm preparing a teaching or I'm studying, something, yes, that come in the Golden Lion, so I can find all the Golden Lion talks on the internet. So it, to me, not taking notes, because I never have, has not been an obstacle to my learning of the Buddha Dharma. But that is my personal, which I'm sharing. And you share your personal, sister. So thank you.
Dạ con kính bạch sư ông, con kính thưa sư mẹ, con kính thưa đại chúng. Và câu hỏi của con ngắn thôi. Con sư mẹ hồi nãy giờ dạy về cái việc âm nhạc và hát nhạc á, thì con nhớ ra có một cái bài hát mà sư ông có thời gian chỉnh lại cho đại chúng mà con không biết rõ là nó như thế nào á. Có cái bài hát mà Em là cuộc tình của tôi á, và sư ông con nghe nói là sư ông sửa lại là Trăng là cuộc tình của tôi, thì con không biết là như thế nào. Xin sư cô chỉ dạy cho chúng con để nó thống nhất hát cái bài này.
So this is another example of a song which Thai changed because the meaning is in that song it says you are my love affair or something like that. Em là cuộc tình của tôi, và sư ông nghe một thầy hát cái đó là sư ông cũng sửa liền. Instead of em, instead of saying you my little sister, you will say the moon is my my love. Yeah, cuộc tình, how do I translate? Cuộc tình làm sao mình viết được? My love, huh? So we have to, change that when we sing it. The other day I also heard someone sing with, forgot to change it. And when we revise the song book, if we put that song in, by Sister Yang in, we need to change the words.
Dạ, con kính thưa sư cô, ở Sầm Mới có một câu hỏi. The question is, if the sutra is composed into the music, is that okay to change the words in the sutra in order to fit into the music, to make the music beautiful? The sutra and also Sha'om's poems. Thank you, Shuko.
Sư cô không nghe, thưa sư cô.
Thưa sư cô, this is a question from New Hamlet sister. If the sutra is composed into music, is that okay to change the words in the sutra in order to fit into the music, to make the music beautiful? The sutra and also Sha'om's poems. Thank you, Shuko.
So some of the chants, when Thai Phat Hieng put them to music, he changed the translation. So to protect and transform, really it says I can't remember what he says. He says, may we never leave the Sangha. And then Thai Phap Hing, who did leave the Sangha, said, may we never have the need to leave the Sangha. So put in the extra word, we never have the need to leave the Sangha. So sometimes when we make a change, it can have something to do with our own practice and our own understanding. And sometimes when we make a change in order to fit the music, it should be a change that doesn't change the meaning. If it changes the meaning, then I don't think it's okay. But we can change the words sometimes, keep the meaning the same, but it fits the music. And when you translate, there's always things you can't translate something literally. You have to change. This is something Thai is always trying to teach me. Huh? You have to make it appropriate for the people who hear it in their language. So this is something to do with keka và kheli, appropriateness to the circumstances and appropriateness to the dharma. And so whenever we do change something, we check with other people, is this kheli? Is this appropriate to the dharma? Is it representing the dharma?
Dạ, thưa sư cô, sầm mời hết câu hỏi rồi.
Somehow Kumbe, the new Hamlets asked all their questions. I said the lower Hamlet is the same. So we can end here. Thank you for listening.